Morning and Sairam to all the students. Student, welcome back in your English online class. So, student, today we are going to cover our chapter number 7, Stepping Out by Charles Dickens. As we had already started this chapter in the last session, so today we are going to finish the reading and the book exercise part. So, as you know, this chapter is written by Charles Dickens and he was born on 7th of February 1812, and as he was a English writer and a social critic. So we had already covered our half of the chapter. Today we are going to cover our rest of the part. So let's start with our word meaning. Here we have some word meaning. So here we have some word meaning: skirting, moving quickly; depredator, one who takes away something unfairly; helter-skelter, confuser; fall, a domestic cock; gliss, partial view; lubrically, big and clumsy; luck, drag with great effort. So these are some word meaning, and these word meanings are not in from your book, so you can write these word meaning also in your rough notebook. So let's take out your book and we will start reading. This was all done in a minute space. In the very instant when Oliver began to run, the old gentleman, putting his hand to his pocket and missing his handkerchief, turned sharply round. Seeing the boy scudding away at such a rapid pace, he very naturally concluded him to be a depredator. Shouting, "Stop thief!" with all his might, he had off after him, book in hand. Okay. So, as you know, this is a story based on an orphan boy Oliver who was living live with some children. Later he met with the artful doctor, and the artful daughter and Fagin, they just went in the market and they were doing a job. In the starting, Oliver was completely unknown about the job, but now he understood that they were stealing something from the old gentleman. So in this paragraph it is written that the old gentleman thought that Oliver did something. But the old gentleman was not the only person who raised the hue and cry. The doctor and the master Bates, unwillingly to attract public attention by running the open street, had merely retired into the very first doorway round the corner. They no sooner heard the cry and saw Oliver running. Then, guessing exactly how the matter stood, they issued forth and shouting, "Stop thief!" too, joined in the pursuit like good citizens. So, what the Dogler and Master Bates done? They just joined the crowd as a good citizen, and they also start shouting, "Stop thief! Stop thief! Stop thief! Stop thief!" There is a magic in the sound. The tradesman leaves his counter, the carman his wagon, the butcher throws down his tray, the, the baker his basket, the milkman his pail, the errand boy his parcel, the schoolboy his marble. So, in this paragraph, it is written that after the shout of stop thief, everybody joins that crowd and everybody leaves their particular things, whatever jobs, whatever they are doing, and they started running behind the thief. Away they run, pell-mell, helter-skelter, slapdash, tearing, yelling, screaming, knocking down the passengers, as they turned the corners, rousing up the dogs and astonishing the fowl. The street square courts re-echo with the sound. So in this paragraph, they have used many adjectives. So here they were saying that everybody start running behind the thief, and they were screaming. They were going here and there, square, street, courts. From each of the corners, there is only one voice is there: "Stop thief! Stop thief!" Suppose at last a clever blow. He is down upon the pavement, and the crowd eagerly gather round him, each newcomer jostling and struggling with the other to catch the glimpse. Stand aside, get him a little air. Now he just stopped, and everybody just want to see the glimpse, a view of that thief, and someone said, "Get aside, give him a little air." Nonsense, he don't deserve it. But someone else said, "No, because he's a thief, he don't deserve it." Where's the gentleman? Here he is, counting down the street. Make room there for the gentleman. In this, is this the boy, sir? Yes. Oliver lay covered with the mud and dust and bleeding from the mouth, looking widely round upon the heap of the faces that surrounded him. When the old gentleman was pushed into the circle by the foremost of the pursuit. Now, as everybody was thinking that Oliver is a thief, and that's why they asked from this old gentleman that, is this the boy who is thief? And he also admitted, yes. Yes, said the gentleman, I am afraid it is the boy. Afraid? Murmured the crowd. That's a good. Poor fellow, said the gentleman, he has hurt himself. I did that, sir, said a great lumbering fellow. Step forward, I stop him, sir. The fellow touched his hat with a grin, expecting something for his pain, but the old gentleman, eyeing him with an expression of dislike, looked anxiously round, as if he contemplated running away himself. It is very possible he might have attempted to actually do it, and thus started another chase, had not a police officer at the very moment made his way through the crowd and seized Oliver by the collar. Come, get up, said the man roughly. So now here there is a conversation between a gentleman, old gentleman, and with the other person. I wasn't me. It wasn't me, sir. Indeed, indeed. It was two other boys, said Oliver. Now, as Oliver was not the thief, he was telling that it was not me, it was the two other boys. Clasping his hand passionately and looking round, they are here somewhere, and he just want to tell them that I am not a thief. Oh no, they aren't, said the officer. This was true, for the Dockler and Chadbase had flown down the first convenient country yard they had come across. Come, get up. Don't hurt him, said the old gentleman compassionately. Oh no, I won't hurt him, replied the officer, tearing Oliver's jacket half off his back in proof therefore. Come, I know you. It won't do. Will you stand upon your legs? Oliver, who could hardly stand, made a shift to raise himself on his feet, and was at the once lugged along the street by the jacket collar at a rapid pace. The gentleman walked on with them by the officer's side. Many of the crowd got a little ahead and stared back at Oliver. From time to time, the boy shouted in the trumpet, and on they went. So, as I told you, that it is not a complete story of this orphan boy Oliver. It's just a paragraph, or you can say it's just a small part from the book written by Charles Dickens. So, if you want to know about the complete story, you can find out this book on the Google and you can read this. So, this is a story of a boy Oliver who was not thief actually, but his friends did a mistake, and whatever they have done, they just stole a handkerchief of an old gentleman. But that old gentleman thought that Oliver was the thief, and what happened, how policemen behaved with that boy Oliver is and this is a story about the Oliver, this incident. So I hope you all understood this story. So let's do our book exercise. As we have already started our tenses in the last chapter, so today we are going to study about the past simple or simple past tense. So in simple past tense, as it is given in the timeline before, now, after. So simple past tense related with the before. Here, what is a rule of simple past tense? Subject plus the past tense form of verb. Now everybody knows about verb. I have told you many times that action words are known as verb. But here we are using the third form of the verb, past tense of the verb, like played, ate, or you can say barked, and we can say run. Okay, like this we are using. So here we have one example. Today I ate chapatis for lunch. Here ate is a past tense of eat. My great grandfather taught in a school. So here taught is a past tense of teach. So what is the rule of past tense? Simple past tense, subject plus past tense of the verb. Next is, my father used to act in a play before his marriage. Now here we are using a gerund. When we are using to, after that we cannot use the past tense. With to we always use the first tense of the verb. So go and act, it is a gerund here. Now the next is past perfect. Here one more, past simple, and the next is past continue. As simple continue is rm plus ing form of verb, same way was verb plus ing form of verb. The rule is same, only in present continuous we are using is rm, and here we are using was verb. What is the difference between the past continuous and the present continuous? In present continuous we are using subject plus is rm plus ing form of verb, and here we are using subject plus was or verb plus ing form of verb. Now was we are using with singular and verb we are using with plural. Like last night we means plural, so we will use here were. Last night we were walking on our terrace. I saw smoke was coming out of neighbor's house. So because here I saw smoke was coming from the neighbor house, here we have used were and was. With walk and come we use ing form. So walk become walking, come become coming. So it is a rule of the past continuous. So simple present, simple past, yes, past form of verb. Past continuous, was and were plus ing form. Now the last is past perfect. Now in that simple in the past perfect we are using had, and in the present perfect we are using have or has. But here we are not using has or have. With singular or with plural we use had only. What we use? Had only. So, okay, but remember there is a two important thing here. Here it is already written that if we are using two action words, two actions are mentioned. So what we will do, the first action. So okay, let me start. I'll tell you. She put the clothes in the cupboard after she had ironed them. So what she has done first? First he put the clothes in the cupboard and iron. Yes, of course. First she ironed the clothes. So the action that happened first includes had or past tense, and the action which happened after that, it should be in that simple way. So the action ironed she has done first, so had ironed and the put. Now second, the game had started before I reached the stadium. The game has started before I reached the stadium. Now what happened first? He reached the stadium first or the game had started first? Yes, the game started first. So whatever the event happened first, we use had plus past tense form of verb. Similarly, and the action happened later, the later action we use only expressed in the simple past. So for this you have to read and you have to understand the sentence, because it is not any rule that at first thing had come first and second time, because if you see in first sentence had come afterwards and in first second had come before. So we have to understand which event happened first, because in the first example clothes were ironed first, then he or she put in the cupboard. But in the second sentence, the game started before she or the person reached. So we have to read the sentence, we have to understand the sentence, and afterwards we can use the rule of the past perfect. So here we have covered three things today. First, past simple, second, past continuous, and third, past perfect. Read the rule, learn the rule, and you can easily do the book exercise. Now what you have to do, you have to read the chapters again and again. Try to solve the book exercise yourself, and in your PDF I am going to give you question answer plus answers of the book exercise. Meanwhile you have to read the chapter again and again. Again students, I am telling you, your exam is coming, so just start learning. What you have to do, you have to read the chapters, because most probably your question will be objective type, you will get some option. So for that you have to read the chapter thoroughly, and you have to learn the small things from the chapter, like author name, like small word meaning from the chapter. And one more thing student, word meaning or synonym are the same. If synonym will come, it means you have to write the same meaning of the word. There is no difference between the meaning and the synonym, they are same. Synonym means also meaning of that word. Synonym, again I am saying synonym. What is the meaning of synonym? Synonym means same. Same means same meaning. So word meaning and synonym are the same. So start learning at home and also read this chapter. Sai Ram students.